Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black Millennial Wife. My name is Avis.
I'm Jet, and we're going to start our episode off with highlighting a Black business. I would like to highlight Black Coffee, which is located in Fort Worth. So if you're in the area, please go check out this business. I got to go and just taste and sample some of their items, and they are absolutely amazing. I personally don't like coffee, but they have other options. They have teas, they have drinks and things like that. And usually they have like full small businesses that come and set up near the shop. So you can also buy and purchase items that are owned and operated by other Black business owners. And you can also get your coffee, your croissants and things like that. So if you're in the DFW area, please go check out Black Coffee.
That's dope. Okay, so the Black business that I would like to highlight is Ivy Leaf Farms. So if you are in the Houston area and you want to experience nature, experience a few farm animals, go and support her. She does pop-up shops all around Houston as well. So she sells her produce, she sells house plants. And right now for the fall season, she has a pumpkin patch on the farm as well. So if you have little kids, you want to go take some cute pictures. It's really cute setup. She got the pumpkins and the bales of hay and all that other kind of stuff. So my family and I will probably be going sometime soon before it gets cold, whatever that means in Texas. But go check her out. She is on Instagram at Ivy Leaf Farms, and she is also online. Her website is ivyleaffarms.com. You can kind of see when her pop-up shops are going to be and where they're going to be and all the other kind of stuff. So go check her out and support a Black woman that is supporting her community for sure.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are not in Texas that don't know, we love fall. We live for fall and pumpkin patches and the whole 9 yards. So if you've never experienced it, please find you a local pumpkin patch and go experience it.
Okay, so have you ever heard of raising children takes a village?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I feel like that's the same for marriage.
I
If
would,
you don't have support in your marriage, in you trying to be a good wife and you trying to maintain a happy and healthy home, it's harder, I think. And then you have people that have the complete opposite of that and have people in their lives that are trying to be destructive to their marriage. So today, we wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about how it takes a village to support a marriage. And I don't necessarily think I thought a lot about that going into our marriage, but I can definitely see how having people in my corner, on my side, and on my marriage's side has benefited us. So for an example, one of my closest friends, our line sister, her name is Candace. Shout out to Candace. She is like my marriage advocate. That's what I call her. So when Philip is on my nerves and I'm going off in my feelings about something, she has a very special way of helping me see his side of things. And when I'm upset, I'm angry, my feelings are hurt about something, and she helps me see the other side, I always hit her with, you not his friend, you my friend. So I need you to be on my side, okay? I don't need you to try to tell me how he feel and all the other kind of stuff. I need you to say, yeah, he wrong. I'll beat him up for you. But she is not that type of person at all. So I had mentioned before in another episode how when the pandemic started, Philip was going to be working from home. And she texted me and was like, hey, when you start freaking out and he started getting on your nerves, what y'all gonna do? Like, what's the action plan? Because you know it's coming, right? And I hadn't even thought about that. So her prompt gave me the idea to come up with a safe word. So when we were getting on each other's nerves, when it was getting to be a little too much,
No. Everybody know you got a baby.
Okay, all right. When it was getting to be a little bit too much, I came up with the safe word, beef tips. So when, we just need to take a break, no more conversation. We not going to let it escalate. Somebody got to say beef tips and we just leave it alone for a little while. But I would not have come up with that if I did not have somebody outside of my marriage willing to help me maintain a happy and healthy marriage. So what about you?
Absolutely. And I also think in regard to your situation, one of the reasons why that dynamic works so well for y'all, which you've shared with me, is that Candace and Philip also think very much alike. And I think that is something that naturally happens because you developed your relationship with both people separately. And then, just that it just meshed well together. And that's not to say that, oh, you got to go out and find a friend that thinks like your husband. Because I happen to have a friend who thinks like my husband and is so like cool, calm, and collected and just, well, what if you thought about it? Don't tell me how I need to think about it, okay? But she's like my guardian angel. I call her my spiritual advisor. And she's literally just my homegirl. She's my friend, but she's always the person that I have called when things aren't going my way or things go awry in my marriage, because she's always there to help me see something differently. And I honestly can say if it was not for her, and there's other people in my village, but if she's one of the main people, if it was not for her, I don't know where I would be with my husband right now. That's not to say divorced or anything, but just happy, and at peace in my relationship, because I am a very hard-headed. I can be selfish. I mean, just all of those things that I can be naturally could have been just a lot more detriment to my marriage. And I think it's so important. And I knew it from the beginning. I even remember having the conversation with my mom, planning my wedding, like, no, don't invite this person because they're not going to be there in my marriage once we say I do. Don't invite this person. I mean, no, like I'm not having that. So what we did was we came up with the decision to have an open ceremony because we both grew up at the same church. There were so many people that wanted to be a part of it, which I understand. Okay, so I will have an open an open ceremony. That's what it's called. And anybody can come because we were blessed to not have to worry about the cost of that because of, other circumstances. And then we'll have a private reception because I don't feel like I owe it to anybody to be at that part of my wedding, because I want it to be the close people that are around me that are going to support my marriage as we're going through it. And everybody that was there at that reception is still a part of. Well, we just took a turn for the worst. Almost everybody who was a part of my big day is still in my life. There were some unforeseen circumstances that happened, and that's not the case for everybody. But for the most part, I think my idea and my principle was that I don't want people to feel like they just deserve to be a part of this when they're not going to be a part of it when things get down to the nitty gritty.
That is very, very true. Very true. And that makes me think of when I was looking for like the officiant to our wedding, and I picked my best friend, and so my best friend's name is Shannon, and he's married, and we could talk about that another day maybe, but he's a pastor, and so I was like, yeah, I would love to have Shannon be the person to marry Philip and I. Shannon is Philip's like cousin by marriage, along some aunt, uncle, somebody, something like that. And we all went to college together. And so we're all very close. Like we're close. And I remember you saying like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. You want to have somebody that's going to be able to like guide you in your marriage. And I think where you were coming from was like somebody older, like somebody maybe has been married for 20, 30, 40 years, something like that. But Shannon had been like, he's got years on us when it comes to marriage. And so, and they have gone through their struggles and stuff like that. And so he is definitely somebody that I can go to for support and to help guide us through our process and our challenges in our marriage. And so he's definitely somebody else that's like a huge like advocate for my marriage, like a cheerleader for my marriage, like, and not just somebody, you know, the people in my life that I can go to complain to and it'll put me on the right track, but people that are like praying for your marriage. That's what you want. You want people in your life that have a good enough relationship with the Lord that when they talk to him, you know, things happen. Like, yeah, he listening. And so I've just been so blessed to have people that do that. And honestly, you know, you mentioned everybody that was in your wedding may not necessarily be in y'all's life right now for whatever reason. And I can say the same. But I think those people have had, like, we just are not on the same path in life. Let me say that, right? Like, they are pursuing other things, and not to say it's good or bad, but they're just pursuing other things. And so I've had some separation from some people in my life that were at my wedding and were important pieces. And you know, it's not bad blood, but those are not people that I would go to when Philip and I are having trouble. And that's okay. Everybody in your life doesn't have to play that role. But I think if you do have people in your life that can play that role and can play it well, that's such a benefit for what you have going on.
Absolutely. And to touch on the fact that you were talking about when we were discussing like who was going to officiate your wedding. And because when I think of my circle, I have different levels of people, couples, single friends, whatever, that play roles in my marriage. And I think there are some things that a couple or whether they're married or not, at a certain age can help you with and understand because they've been where we might be in that moment before. And when you have a friend who's doing life virtually at the same place that you are, all they can do is just guess really on what might be the best strategy for something because they haven't gone through certain things in life. For example, I have Vicky and Ray Butler. Well, Trey and I have Vicky and Ray Butler, who are a huge integral part in the fact that my husband and I are still married to this day. And they have been married for 30 something years. They have a son. They have other things that have occurred and happened in their lives that nobody our age could ever identify with at this point in life. And so to take something to them in regard to our marriage hits a little bit differently with them because they have seen and done so much and been through so much in life. Versus my girlfriend Jay, who I was just talking about, who is virtually like Shannon doing marriage at the same time, and she can see things differently than I can and advise me in different ways. But there's just some things that she can't understand because she hasn't been there yet, you know? And so I think it's also important to have different levels of people in your village, just because I definitely believe that having people to go through it with at the same stage is so beneficial. When I first got married, I was praying and talking to myself and riding in the car on the way to work. And I was just like, it would be really awesome if I had a group of married women to basically go through this life with. And from that thought, that next week, I talked to a couple of friends I had at my church that I knew were married. And I said, what if we started a wives group? And from that, we started Wish, which was Wives in Search of Him. And every 2 weeks, we would get together. Somebody would host it at their house. Whoever was hosting it would plan a lesson or a topic to discuss that was strictly based on our spiritual growth as wives and as women. And from that, we were able to be with each other through so many different aspects of our relationships. Like I can just remember sitting there, whether we were sharing laughs or tears or whatever. And I honestly, I could not imagine going through whatever I went through at the beginning of my marriage to get to this point without them. And I just believe so firmly. And even if it's just one person, you don't have to have a whole group of people. If you have one person that you know is there to support you and to support your marriage, because if you have a friend who is that friend that's telling you, nah, girl, don't deal with that. That's not the friend you need. That's not the friend you need. You need somebody that's going to be there to help you see a different aspect, to help you see his side, or see that you're wrong in your thinking, because we don't ever want to believe we're wrong. But you need somebody who's strong enough to call you out and be like, Avis, no ma'am, that's not okay. We're not doing that, because we need to be checked sometimes. And we have husbands who aren't going to necessarily sit there and check us in that way. I mean in an ugly way. Let me just say that.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, because Phil will say something to me.
He will say something. I just mean like in an ugly way, but you friend who's willing to say, heck no, it ain't right. You ain't right. Get your life right and go fix this with your husband.
Yeah. And see, I feel like I definitely have that. And I feel like Philip definitely has that. But the difference is, I feel like men, at least my husband's friends, they are there for each other. They care about each other. They love each other. My husband has a fantastic group of friends, really and truly. But it's like, do y'all talk about stuff? Like, do y'all talk about this kind of stuff? Are y'all talking?
No.
I don't understand. I don't get that. I do not understand that, because what I feel like is a continuous kind of struggle in my marriage is like, Philip sometimes does not go to the people that I think he can go to for them to tell him, hey, you wrong. Like, I got people that's going to tell me I'm wrong, even when I don't want to hear it. And Philip has people that will tell him when he's wrong, but I don't necessarily know if he's going to them in the spirit of, can you counsel me? Like, let me talk this through with you. Like, tell me what you think, am I tripping kind of way. And I just hate that. Like, we have a couple of really close friends, my husband's line brother, him and his wife, they just had a baby together. And it's like a new thing, like, all of that. And I was telling Philip, like, talk to him about how it feels. Like, talk to him about how it feels to be a new dad. Like, all those emotions that you get that you don't know what to do with, like, talk to him about that. Like, don't let him go through this process of being a new father without your help, because y'all are so close. And you can say, hey, it felt like this for me. Like, oh, we went through this. Like, there's a period in time where the baby don't really want the daddy. The baby want the mama. And I know that hurt my husband's feelings. He understood the logic of it and that it's a child and all those kind of things. But I think that kind of hurt his feelings. And I think if he was to go to his line brother and say, hey, when this happened, don't even worry about it. It's just temporary, that would help him. But you got to have those conversations. And so instead of me trying to like push him to go, like, go talk to him, go tell him that, this is coming, like, prepare him. I'm trying to take a step back and I'm trying to just pray about it. Like, open Philip's heart to having those conversations when he needs to have those conversations. Lord, let him be obedient when you put it on his heart to bring it to his friend and talk about. So I just wish that, like, men were as openly open about, like, needing support in a marriage, because I think that, especially as Black men, to have support of your friends and like-minded friends. Like, we have a lot of friends that are married. We have a lot of friends that are married, and so if they formed a little network all together, I think that would be great.
Absolutely. And Trey is the complete opposite. He has, I'm not gonna say that man ain't got no friends. He got friends, okay? He got friends. But the ones that he considers like his actual close friends that he grew up with are all single, or they got baby mamas, or whatever the case may be. That's a whole nother episode. Put that down in the note. Your husband's friends, okay? Because I can share some stuff on that. But we have our one couple friend that we're close with. So all of the husbands and wives that were in my wives group that I was just talking about, they're friendly. We all go to church. They talk to each other, whatever. When the wives plan something to get together, the guys, they get along. They're friends. He's actually going to watch a football game this evening with one of the guys. But they're not like friends. Like, they're not texting all the time and hanging out and all of that stuff. So but we have our couple friend that we're very close to, and I would say since we've been friends with them, I feel like he may talk a little bit more to him than he ever has in the 8 years of our marriage, and that's been about, I'd say, 2 now years. And I have always wished and prayed that the relationship with the other guys would develop more, because I could see so much potential and so much promise in those relationships for all of them as husbands, if they would just open up their mouths and talk about something of substance other than The Walking Dead or football or whatever else we had in common with those couples. And I don't know. I feel like it's all deeper rooted things, in the sense of like men not being open to talk to other men, or just in general not being open to talk and share, especially if it's an issue. They all just hold that stuff in and, don't ever deal with it. And I feel like if men would take that step, that everybody would grow a lot faster, because I know when I share and I talk and I get through things, I grow a lot faster than me holding on to it and not dealing with it. So I mean, I guess I have to count my blessings that he at least has one friend that I know he semi talks to about different things, but it's definitely not on the level that I am doing. But again, I cannot compare myself to my husband, and I cannot change him. So like you said, I pray about it. And I pray that whenever he is going through things, whether he chooses to talk to me or a friend, I just want him to talk about it, because he's just naturally not the person to talk about things that he's going through,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the Lord calls us to have community.
Absolutely.
And so that's part of the community. And so, if you are in a marriage, if you are in a relationship where you're seeking that, like, drop a comment below. Like, we can start that here. Like, it doesn't, have to be something where you're meeting up with people face to face. I mean, we are still independent, but if you need that type of support, like, we are definitely here. And other people are available too, but we want to create a community where we're supportive of each other and not just us talking to you about what's going on in our lives. We would definitely love to hear what's going on in your lives and maybe how we can pray for you, and how, I've solicited prayer in these videos before, so I hope y'all are praying for us. so I think we've had a wonderful conversation. We just really touched on some things high level, nothing too deep. Kind of want to keep it light this week. So just let us know how you're feeling about your network. Let us know if you need a network. We will pray for you if you put that in there as well. Something that I've taken away from the conversation and just my life experience with it is, go to the people that you can go to. Don't go to the people you can't go to. Don't go to your whoever that has been married 5 times and really cannot provide you with Christian-led advice and support. Go to the people that are strong in their faith and that want the best for your marriage.
Absolutely. A takeaway for me is, if you don't have anybody that you feel is a part of your village, find that person. Even if it's just one, find that person that will pray for you, that will encourage you, so that you have that in your life to just make things a little bit more easy. All right, so we're going to wrap up our episode by sharing how we won at adulting this week. Everybody wants to grow up. You can't wait to drive. You can't wait to move out of your mama's house and all of those things, and you get them. And it's just like, what is happening? Like, why can't I just push pause? Can't push pause, because if you push pause, that means it's over. Game over. And we don't want that. Not yet. So we're going to celebrate those moments in which we are doing the best we can as women, as wives, and as human beings. So I would like to share how I won at adulting this week by making it through my first full week of work. Listen, it is hard to get back in the swang of things, okay? Your girl came home day, and went to bed. I had a glass of wine and then went to bed. But I'm so glad I made it through. And it wasn't bad at all. It was a great first week. It was just being so tired, waking up earlier than I had been, being busy all day long, staying late, and then coming home. It was just time to go to bed. So, but I'm proud of myself for making it through and getting adjusted. And I hope that it will continue to just be good and continue to prosper.
It will. So I won at adulting. My husband and I are in the process of probably putting our house up for sale. And so instead of waiting until we need to pack, I have started to go through things. Yep. I have started to go through things that need to be gone through. So in our closet in our bathroom was just a mess. Hair care products, feminine products, cleaning products, like just tons of stuff. And so I ordered some storage boxes with lids, and I went through stuff. I threw away stuff and, put some order in that space. And I'm telling you, the closet is small, so it's not like I just did a whole lot. But I've started somewhere. So the next thing I'll be doing is attacking a closet in one of the bedrooms. And that's going to be a mess. But I would rather do it now when it's not a lot of pressure than waiting until the Lord answers this prayer and blesses us with an increase and we have to leave this space. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Black Millennial Wife.
So don't forget to like, share, and comment, and be on the lookout for our next episode next Friday. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.